Hello and welcome to the Narc Alert, the channel where we look at YouTubers and others to see if they demonstrate any traits that fall within the spectrum of narcissistic personality disorder or NPD. These videos are for fun and entertainment purposes only, strictly my opinion, and remember, please don't send any snark to our possible narcs. So key points to remember: messy fun and not a diagnosis. Hello my lovely alerts and welcome back to the Narc Alert. Happy Friday, I hope you've all had a great week and let's keep it going and have a fantastic weekend. You know who else is having a fantastic time right now? Well, that's our girl, Amberlynns Reid. She's become an international sensation with success from the French through a Belgian YouTuber who made a very positive video about her. So now she's got all the support that she ever wanted. She's on the track to get weight loss surgery. What could possibly go wrong for our girl? Well, I have heard that if you have binge eating disorder, you are not likely to qualify for weight loss surgery. I may be wrong. This is just what I've heard. So I thought maybe let's look back at Amber's history of binge eating disorder.
Even when I'm doing good, even when I'm doing bad, because I have a really bad food addiction, and the only reason why I worry about these things is because I want to be a better person, and to be a better person I want to eat better and to become healthier. And why do I want to become healthier? Because I want to live longer. I want to live a long, happy life. And I don't want to die by the time I'm 40, but if I knew I was, I feel like I wouldn't worry so much about my weight. I have 17 years before I'm 40 years old. That sounds insane to me, but I do. I have 17 more years before I'm 40. If I knew I only had 17 years to live, I wouldn't worry about the food that is in my mouth. This might sound bad to some people, but I didn't get a YouTube channel for advice. I do ask for advice, and when I do, please give it. But I mainly made YouTube, to show my life and my journey and to give advice to others, to show that nobody is perfect. In a world full of, times where you binge eat, I'm not supporting any binge eating or anything like that, but I just want to be the proof in the world that, struggles, I'm sorry, are here every day. And I really just wanted to be honest with you guys and know that when you guys binge eat or you guys overeat, you're not alone. By the way, this was not me binge eating. It's July 14th and I woke up a little bit ago. I just filmed my weigh-in video. Make sure you see that. I talk a little bit about my binge eating disorder. I don't know if any of you binge, but if you do, I think you know that, like, that feeling inside of you when you're like, I need to binge. I feel it creeping on. Just even talking about having a binge eating disorder triggers my binge eating disorder. But when I was about 14, 15, I was assessed for a binge eating disorder. She did say I had it, and I did tell you guys yesterday that I kept it a secret, and what I meant by that was I didn't tell family because it was confidential since I was in foster care. They didn't get to tell your family anything. And then this one is amazing. Eat what you love what you eat for binge eating. I read not that much of it, but it was enough. As you guys know, I do have a binge eating disorder. I'm not healed from that whatsoever. I'm trying my hardest to fix myself in ways that are private, talk myself away from binge eating a lot. To have a binge eating disorder is very hard to handle. It gets really, really powerful, and sometimes you're just not strong enough. When I come home and I'm already starving to death and I already have binge eating disorder and I see how many points I have, it really puts me in a state of trance of binge eating, and I binge eat. I do, and it's not a cute look what's happening to me, but I just keep binge eating like a mad woman. There's two types of binge eating that I do. There's one where I literally will never get full and I will sit there and just eat and eat and eat because I can't get full. Like, no matter how much I eat, promise you, I will not be getting full. But then there's the other part where I will binge eat until I am sick, and then I will still keep binge eating no matter how sick I am, and I'll just keep making myself sicker and sicker and sicker. Oh, she ate a whole pizza. No, I didn't. I ate 3 pieces. And then they come back and they're like, something's not adding up because I thought you had binge eating disorder. I just want to say right now, I do have binge eating disorder. I have binge eating disorder. She saw me struggling with my weight, and she saw me struggling with the things I ate and my binge eating disorder and all this stuff. And she told me specifically in December that she's tired of watching me self-destruct myself. Okay, that I can understand. Honestly, I do. Stop watching my YouTube then. Cool. And it's confusing that my aunt, knowing that I have a binge eating disorder and I have a food addiction, would just give up on me. That you guys should not be taking advice from me, but I know how to lose weight better than anybody. I just don't do it. I have binge eating disorder. I am a food addict. I am an emotional eater. And more than anything, I want to inspire people. So in 2 weeks, 7.8 pounds down. I'm happy with that. That's on top of, again, my binge eating disorder getting the best of me. As you guys know, I do suffer from binge eating disorder. I was diagnosed when I was 16. Not only do I have, binge eating, but I am a food addict and I eat emotionally, whether it's from happiness or from sadness or joy. There's something not right up here. No matter which way you slice or to dice it, like, people who are 500 pounds are addicted to food, have a binge eating disorder. There's something that's not right. That was one of the times that I was in the children's shelter, and my therapist, it might have been in passing, but she did say, this is binge eating disorder. I never got a pamphlet that said, oh, you have binge eating disorder or anything like that, but she did tell me this is binge eating disorder, and we did spend a couple weeks talking about it. So maybe as a 16-year-old, I took that and I ran with it.
Honestly, I didn't even know binge eating was a thing until I met you.
Really? Counselor about my eating habits and such, and he straight up told me the words binge eating disorder, and we talked more about that. And so when he told me, oh yeah, binge eating disorder, da 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 da, I was like, holy shit, like, I've been right this whole time. That's exactly what's going on with me. And I've opened up a lot with you guys about my food addiction, my binge eating. I have done so many different diets on this channel, because if I go just from binge eating to keto, oh my god, I'm gonna have headaches, keto flu, this and that. But if I go from binge eating to just like moderate / low carb, it's gonna be less of a detox. Not perfect. I do suffer with binging, and I know a lot of people don't like me to say binge eating disorder because I have never been like truly diagnosed. I have had therapists tell me in the past, yeah, it sounds like you have binge eating disorder, but I've never been to an eating disorder like doctor. From like, I used to actually see a nutritionist when I was like 16 years old. I did. I used to see another nutritionist when I was like 14, 15. I did. That's when I was diagnosed with binge eating. And oh, I know this. You guys know I suffer with binge eating, which I do want to talk to you guys about because I was officially diagnosed with binge eating disorder by my therapist. It wasn't yesterday. Okay, so this one's important. I'm glad this one's in here. So I guess the lie is that I said I was diagnosed when I was 16 with BED. And then here I say, I think I was like 27 in this video, I said that I was diagnosed with BED. So when I was 16, I was seeing someone who did say it sounded like I had binge eating disorder. I actually have made a whole video, well, it wasn't like a whole video dedicated to this, but in the video I did talk about this, where As a teenager, I took that and I ran with it because when I was 16, you could not be diagnosed with BED. Why were you ashamed the last time you took a walk of shame? Probably like binge eating. Like I was hanging out with Ben and Jerry in bed and like took the walk of shame when I went to go throw away the evidence in the trash. I hate giving advice when it comes to like binge eating because I feel like I don't even have it figured out yet. But my whole thing is like, when you feel a binge come, like just eat vegetables and fruit. I remember this advice. I think it was from a doctor. They said that eventually you'll not binge as much, which doesn't make sense because in my opinion, my opinion, I could binge on vegetables and fruit and it still has the same effect for the most part if I was to binge on like chicken nuggets, if that makes sense. Binging is binging. So my therapist is helping me with my binge eating and she recommends intuitive eating. So I am going to intuitively eat today. Have you ever considered a therapist who specializes in binge eating disorders? The therapist I have now actually does, which I love, and that's why she did recommend intuitive eating. Counting calories, following meal plans, counting points, carbs. That's a really big thing that triggers binge eaters into binge eating. This off-track day was just insanely bad. In total, I ate 5,121 calories. I have an eating disorder, so I'm not gonna blame it on a character flaw or because I'm disgusting. I know what the comments say, trust me. Eating disorders are a very real thing and food addictions are a very real thing. This is the first time from an actual eating disorder clinic program that I am officially diagnosed with binge eating disorder. So by counting calories, you're actively telling yourself that you're restricting your food, which makes you want to eat more. And when you already have binge eating disorder, that's just gonna make it worse. What's the hardest part about losing weight? I think it's definitely like my binge eating, my food addiction / emotional eating / comfort eating. Binging 2 days in a row is a rarity for me, but it happened. And I just noticed that my binging comes so much more frequently ever since I started keto and then stopped it. It's painful because it took me, a couple years. It took me some time. It took me having a psychologist who specializes in binge eating disorder for me to not only binge less frequently, but for me to eat less during a binge. I think they're gonna be able to see more like what is really the issue. Is it binge eating? Is it food addiction? Is it both? And I think I'm really gonna take advantage of this whole weight loss surgery path. Main focus is not to binge. That is all I'm worried about. I really wanna see, am I binging or am I a food addict? I have always said that I have binge eating disorder. I was diagnosed with binge eating disorder, but was I misdiagnosed?
Oh my gosh, do you think Amber has been misdiagnosed all these years? Since she was 14 years old, she's been battling something that she never truly had. This girl never stood a chance. Let's hope she gets things straightened out with her new food addiction. Thank you so much for joining me. If you liked the video, don't forget to click like and subscribe. Grab a channel membership to get into the Discord. We have fun, we play games, we stream all kinds of crazy shows. And until we meet again, please be kind and hasta luego.